Okay, so welcome back. It's time for the next workout, and hopefully you've been following the first two, because today we're going to progress you a little bit. So we're going to kind of move from, well, it's a very similar structure. It's still kind of 3 movements at a time, 30 seconds on, 15-second rest. So that's the same, but this time we're going to tweak it around a little bit, and all the movements that we've done so far, plus maybe a couple of extras, we're going to put into a workout. But instead of doing alternate muscle groups, for example, previously we've done a push-up into like abs into legs. So we're going to combine them all into chunks of the same. So the first part is lower body, the second part is upper body. So we've got 3 movements to kick us off, and they're going to be squats, side lunges, and glute bridges, which work everything from here downwards. So you might feel a bit more burn than usual, but without any further, don't want to spoil it too much, don't want to spoil the fun. Let's get ready and warmed up. So we're going to start jogging on the spot first of all. That's the most important thing. Let's start to get the heart rate going, but we're going to spend a little bit less time today getting warmed up because we don't necessarily need the warm-up as we're getting more accustomed to the movements. So let's just go straight into some kicks. But like I said, 30 seconds of squats will kick us off. We're then going to get a 15-second breather before we go 30 seconds of the side lunges, which we did in workout number 2. 15-second breather again, and then 30 seconds of glute bridges, which we also did previously. So let's just kick up to the side. Like I said, a slightly quicker warm up today. I will have everything on the timer in front of me here, but hopefully you'll be able to hear the beeps like in the previous video, so you can listen out for those. But again, it's all about transition phase. So once you've done movement number 1, you're already thinking about going into movement number 2, because the 15 seconds goes very quickly. So get everything ready, get your space prepared. But let's just do the back, some side twists. And sort of just try to keep up at the speed and tempo. Try to listen out for the beeps, so have the TV volume up, but of course you can play your own music as well. And now finally just some shoulder rotations, like so. Let's now switch directions. And now my best bit of fun that I always get is here, hands together at the top like so, and then one way, one the other way. Let's test out your coordination. See how we get on. And let's switch directions. Bit of a brain squeeze. There we go. We're in. And again, if needs be, you can just sort of flow your arms around everywhere like that. It doesn't really matter as long as you get your shoulders nice and loose. But let's get cracking. So I'm going to start the timer now. 30 seconds of squats to begin with. We should be getting familiar with these. And as always, you can sit back onto a sofa or a chair if you choose. So I'm going to start the timer. Here we go. First round, listen out for those beeps. We have got 6 seconds before we crack on. So round number 1. And here we go, we're off. Again, it's 30 seconds a pop. It's 15 seconds to switch up position in between. But these first 2, we can stay standing. It's just squats into side lunges. So back-to-back legs and back-to-back glutes. Nice, so we're just about 5 seconds away from the round. And good. Okay, so now we're thinking about those side lunges, which if you remember, big step out to the side, load that leg, and then come back to the middle and do the other side. So side by side, sitting low. So 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Have a nice big step out to either side. Almost there. Good, and now we're onto the floor for the glute bridges, which again, glute exercise. The clue, I suppose, is largely in the name. So let's get ready to rock and roll. And up we go, squeezing the bum as hard as we can, driving the body weight through the heels. But then once we get to the top, we're creating that bridge from knees down. So a car could technically drive over that pretty smooth, all the way down to your shoulders. Halfway there, keep going. in terms of how wide your feet are, it's up to you. You can go more narrow if you prefer, or you can go a bit wider. It's your preference. Of course, the wider you go, the more you get your hips as well. And good. Okay, that's your first round done. 30-second recovery before we repeat that 2 more times. So back to the squats. Remember, we're trying to hit that parallel depth, and we're trying to keep our back straight. Just going to tuck this wire in. So we're thinking nice and low as we can go, up until you get to about there, and then back up and drive the bum forward. So 5 seconds, round number 2. Let's get ready. About 3 seconds. Good. Okay, so side lunges again. The key thing here that I see a lot of people, when they lunge to the side, especially as they get tired, they start to put their hand down onto their leg like this. Try not to do that. Try to keep your hands free if you can. Here we go. So again, I'm keeping my arms away, but again, I'm touching down so I know the depth. As soon as my finger hits the floor, I know I've got to a pretty reasonable depth of lunge. Like so, you don't have to, you can keep your hands up if you prefer. Much for muchness, just try to sit as low as you can on that leg. So 5 seconds. And brilliant. Okay, so next up, onto the floor for your glute bridges. Let's get ready to rock and roll again. Phase number 3, or phase 2 should I say, but exercise number 3. And we're up. Got to build up the glutes of steel. Very important. Good. Keep it going. So 3, 2, 1, and brilliant. Okay, another round done. Whew. Again, hopefully, if you have followed the first 2 workouts, they're all in a playlist together as I film them. These will be getting a bit easier now, and you can start to adapt, maybe start to go quicker, start to add a little dumbbell to your hips or something like that. There's always ways to progress stuff. The ways that I'll progress this course are in different ways, but let's get ready without any more being spoiled into squats. 1 last round of each. Here we go. Let's go. That's the halfway beep. That singular beep, as you've probably gathered by now, means you're 15 seconds in, you're halfway, and 5 seconds left. I'll take that, very good. 14 seconds left to recover. Then we're going into our side lunges. The wider the step, the more stretch you get, the more narrow the stretch, the more you can get low on the leg. So one's more like a squat, one's more like a lunge. I like to go quite wide. I like to use the lunge as an excuse to get a bit of stretching and flexibility in there as well. But with the lunges, there are many different ways of doing a lunge, and we're going to cover some of those as we go through. But as always, you always need to start off with the squats. If you can master the squats, the lunges will come a lot easier. So almost there, 3 seconds. And good. Okay, so now last round of the glute bridges. This time we're going to do a frog glute bridge. So that just involves putting your feet together like this and doing the same movement. So just follow along, get into this position, laying back, and now up. To squeeze the bum, it is a lot tougher, but now we're getting a bit more kind of medial glute, which is the side of the bum. I'm also getting a bit more hip flexibility in there as well. If that's too tough, you can revert back to the usual bridge, but I'm going to keep my feet planted together in the middle and coming up. You might not be able to get quite as high up, but lots of different ways to do the glute bridge as well. Squeeze in nice and hard. And good. Nice. Okay, so that's your first phase done. I know I chucked a bit of a random kind of alternative in there at the end, but again, you at home, I can't see you, so you can do whatever. Technically, you can do whatever. You can just be watching it for the fun, but yeah, you can do whatever you want, but that's just like a slight alternative to free up the hips a little bit and to work your medial bum, which is in here. So phase number one, have your water, have a couple of minutes to recover, while I'm now going to talk you through the next phase, which is all abs and upper body. So movement number one, again, you stay relaxing. I'm going to show you how to do these. We're going to do an ab walkout into a push-up. So it looks a bit like this. So you start here, we did the walkout last time. So you walk yourself forward very slowly. And once you get to the bottom, you then have your hands in position in a plank to do a push-up. Then you pop your bum out in the air to come back up. Alternatively, you can do this. You can walk out, slightly easier, into a plank, drop your knees down, then do the push-up on your knees, like so. Thirdly, alternatively, you can do, like I said last time, you can do it from the floor only. So you can do your walkout into the push-up like this, and then back up. There's three alternatives there. Try to include everyone. Just bear in mind with the push-up, you might notice that when I do the push-up, my hands at the bottom are right next to my chest and my elbows are tucked in. Most people that I see over years of classes and one-to-ones, they push up like this. They have their hands way out and they push up like that. Don't make that mistake. Not only is it a lot easier, so it's pointless, it will also put a lot of stress on your shoulders. So always hands underneath your chest, tuck your elbows in, and then like so. That is the 101 of push-ups. Do not fall into the usual flared elbows, because that's a no-no. Sometimes harder is better. That's the first movement. Movement number two is some bicycle kicks, which I'm just going to be very quick now. Bicycle kicks, I'm sure you've seen these before. Look a bit like this. Trying to extend the opposite leg up, or sorry, down, should I say, extend it down to the ground and lift the other leg up to crunch the elbow. Here, this leg is well and truly down by the floor and fully extended. So that's a nice quick one. And the third movement is going to be some tricep dips, which on the floor, again, we did these not so long ago. On the floor, it looks like this, just up and down like that. Or you can do it on your sofa. So you can have your hands on your sofa or a chair, and you can basically just drop your bum down like so, which I can't do because I have no sofa in here. Maybe soon. I'm going to do it on my little prop here. I've got a little kind of block and step there, so I will do it on that. But enough talking. Let's get ready to rock and roll. So 7 seconds. Oh, we're going to jump straight into a set of walkouts and push-ups. Here we go. So 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So walking down into one push-up, then we're walking back up again. And again, with that push-up, you're kind of getting your face all the way down to the ground. You're trying to get all the way down, even if you have to put your belly on the floor like that, it doesn't matter. Getting depth is by far the most important thing in the land of push-ups. And what a wonderful land it is. Oh. Almost there. Squeeze that one more. Yes. What's next? I totally forgot. Bicycle kicks. So let's go into bicycle kicks. Speed is your preference. I'm going to go right in the middle of fast and slow. So follow along if that helps.
Let's go.
Here we go. And this one, make sure your spine is pushed through the floor. So get rid of the arch in your back. Once that tension's gone, you can then feel it in the abs a lot more than the lower back. You may also feel it a bit in your hips, but it's not bad.
Rest.
And good, fantastic. And then into your tricep dips. So I'm going to do the first one on the floor just to show people if they want to do it on the floor and they don't have a sofa or a chair or a block. So here we go.
Last round.
Again, elbows are tucked in behind me as much as I possibly can. I'm not getting too much range of motion here, but for many, it's enough. They're not an easy movement. Again, if I want to get more range of motion, I can just lift my hips up a bit more and go a little bit lower. So about 10 seconds remaining. Keep working nice and hard. Right now, might be starting to get a bit tougher. And good. Yeah, so that's definitely a slightly tougher circuit than phase number 1. It's the inclusion of the bicycle kicks and the walkouts do make your heart rate raise a little bit because they're a little bit tougher. But 15 seconds left to recover, so get your water in if you need to. We're about to go straight into round number 2 of the walkouts and the push-ups. So these are a slight step up from the previous 2 workouts. So if you're finding it tougher, it's all part of the plan. Oh yes it is. So let's get ready. Walkout, push-up, and we're off. Thought I'd face a different direction this time. Keep things exciting. So again, going at your own speed. You don't have to keep up with me, you can go slower, you can go faster. Don't go too much faster. Oh yes, you're getting all the grunts and noises out of me today. So next up is going to be bicycle kicks. Okay, here we go, pushing the spine through the floor, and let's go. Again, hopefully you can hear those beeps like I said before. If you can't, turn your TV up, otherwise you're sort of following a little bit blind. Again, spine pushed through the floor, I keep on saying it, because this one often feels a bit of pain in the lower back if you're not doing it correctly. But if you're doing it correctly, you'll get a lot of joyous pain in your stomach. What is next? Yes, I remember now, dips. So let's get my blocks in. This time for a slight mix up. Ooh, I'm behind. And let's go. Like I said, hopefully you're a bit smoother at the transitions than me. So we're looking at about 10 seconds, just under 10 seconds remaining. See if we can keep that tempo up if possible. Then after this, we've just got 1 round remaining. So 3, 2, 1, and good. Yeah, dips are tough. They're not easy. Push-ups are tough. The only problem with doing bodyweight workouts is that the bodyweight arm stuff is tough. When you have weights, you can do some bicep curls or some tricep extensions. They're all a lot easier. But with bodyweight, you have to do push-ups, you have to do dips. They're basically the only 2 movements that you can really get a good arm development from. So unfortunately, bodyweight is sometimes tougher. But last round, into the walkouts and push-ups. Here we go, let's make this one our best. I've got a block in my way, let's get that out of the way. Nice, just keep this going now, last round. I know it's probably a little bit tougher. So just go at your own speed. Keep it going, so 3 seconds. I'll squeeze that one more if I can. That'll do. I'm on the floor, so I might as well switch straight over now. For the bicycle kicks, use this kind of 15 seconds to have a little breather. But let's make this round a good one. Try not to stop all the way through. Here we go. And we're off. My breathing's starting to get a bit heavier now. You might even hear it on the mic. So apologies for that one. I'll try not to breathe as much as possible, but just keep working hard. Keep it going. Oh yes. I do love a good bicycle kick. You can really feel that bad boy. So let's get ready now for your last round of dips. Let's make these your very, very best. Here we go, all the way through to the end. Let's kill this one. And we're off. Your very last round of the day. Then we'll have a quick cool down before you can crack on with the day. Nice. Final 8 seconds. Again, the burn is now there. You might feel it a bit in your wrists, but just keep pushing through. Come on, keep working. So 3, 2, 1, and good. Fantastic. That's definitely got the sweats working a little bit more than the first phase, but hopefully that's got a nice kind of upper body, triceps, shoulder, chest and core pump going on. But that's your workout completed. And just a quick note, RE nutrition, just because it's in there as well, it's quite important. If you are recently starting exercise and you're doing some bodyweight stuff and following this along, you might start to notice that you're a little bit achy than normal. So the number one thing you need to focus on doing is hitting your protein. I know it's very cliche, it's very kind of standard, but it's very true. You need to up your protein intake, and that comes through either some sort of shakes, like whey shakes, like vegan shakes, whichever one you are, preferably meat. And if you're vegan, you can get some good vegan substitutes that have high protein as well. So make sure your protein levels are increasing. You'll recover twice as fast, and you'll also gain a bit more strength and possibly muscle a little bit as well. But yes, apart from that, let's get warmed down, cooled down, should I say. So same as always, we're going to start off with the side twists, and it won't be too long. I'm fully aware that you're fed up of the voice already. So let me just get this done. Nice, so let's now just work the shoulders. So straight arm across, put it in towards the chest. Familiar stretching. Then we just do a couple more after this. Generally you hold a stretch for 5 to 10 seconds, but let's switch over. But again, if I'm being brutally honest, stretching is wonderful, but if you do weights to a good enough, or even body weight squats and lunges to a good full range of motion, you don't necessarily need stretching all that much because you work your limbs and your joints through a good range of motion. So let's go to the lower body. Yeah, let's do that. So let's start off with the quads, and we're pulling it to the bum. As always, everything's live and uncut, so my brain sometimes fuzzles, but yeah, these are a cracker for the quads. Let's now switch over. So I'm just holding on something so I can focus on the stretch. Of course, you can do it balanced as well. That's your preference. But in the next workout, we're going to have a couple of new exciting movements in there as we start to progress. And again, like I do say, I keep on plugging it, but yeah, make sure you're working out 1, 2, 3, so you do the phase as we go through. I've got them all on a playlist, so they should be easy enough to follow. But let's now finish up with a posterior chain stretch, which is everything back of the body. So cross the feet over, keep that back leg straight, and just fall over at the hips. Just dangle nice and loose like so. And let's now come back up and hold for your final 5 to 10 seconds, last little bit. And 3, 2, 1, and then back up to the top, and very well done indeed. You can now call it a day. So hopefully you're enjoying, and hopefully I'll see you in workout number 4, but have a good couple of days recovery in between, so we can come back stronger next time for some new exciting stuff. Awesome, thanks a lot, I'll see you soon.